Friday again. Hope you're okay. Today we are making some really lovely popcorn style jewellery, just using tiger tail. It's a really easy way to make a really lovely look. We've got a selection of beads for you today. So we're going to be using some crystal beads, some glass pearls, but we've got these beautiful they're like druzy, so they look like druzy gemstones. They are glass, but they're coated, so they've got a lovely frosted shimmer to them, which I think is perfect for this time of year. Today is very bright. It's a lovely day outside. Yesterday the weather was much improved, so I enjoyed visiting a relative, and I took Frank out to feed the ducks, and it was cold, but it was very nice. So I hope you're all doing okay. I'm starting dead on time today because I don't know how long this is going to take me. I'll probably show you how to make necklaces, but I'll probably just demo a bracelet for you today. So a quick good morning to you all before I take you over to the website. So good morning to you, Edward. How are you doing? He says, good morning, everybody. We've got Kitti in. Good morning, Kitti. She says, hi, Natalie and everyone. Good morning to Lucy. I think I'm going to take you straight over to the website. Hi, Victoria, and show you the offers today. So you may already have plenty of tiger tail. You might already have plenty of findings. I'm going to be putting mine on chain, and if you want to do that, you can get the chain as well. But I'll be showing you the lovely bundles and things today. So let me take you over to the website, and then I'll come back and say hello to you all again, and you can let me know how the weather is where you are. So go over to the wonderful world, which is totallybeads.co.uk, and click in the video tutorials. You know by now there's loads of ways to get into it. You can click on the logo at the top, you can scroll down to this bit, or you can go into categories. So today, if I click in video tutorials, hello. There we go. It's a little bit slow today. We are looking at the popcorn jewellery. So it, as I say, it is druzy looking. So you won't have had these particular beads before, even if you have done this project. So you can choose from a variety of chain if you want to add that to it, if you want to make your popcorn section like a bit of a feature. There's also all those finding kits in there for you. So your chain, if you want the black one, is only 75 pence. The gold champagne coloured one is 125, as is the rhodium, and as is the silver. You can also get your findings to match if you need some more of them. And then I'm going to show you how to be making new tiger tails there at the bottom as well. I'm going to be showing you how to make these lovely things. So there's a variety of different colour choices for you. As always, you can choose from the bronze diamond, the ivory gold, the monochrome, the plum, which is particularly lovely, though I really do like the ivory gold as well. The silver cloud I think is beautiful. I think that's what I'm going to demo for you today. There's also a space blue and a teal blue as well. So choose which colour you like the look of. This is my example of what I've done with it. As I say, I've put that on a chain, so it's more of a focal point, but you can do this technique all the way around and just add your findings at the end if you like. In there, you're getting your 8mm glass pearls, you're getting your Druzy glass beads. So they are glass, but they're coated with a lovely glittery shimmer. So it looks like a Druzy agate gemstone, I suppose. And you're also getting your 8mm crystal beads and your Toho size 11 seed beads. All you need for this project is a variety and a mix of gorgeous beads and your seed beads too. So this is what the finished product can look like. These are the products that you'll be choosing from. Look at that colour. Oh, they're lovely. I can never decide. You know I can't decide. But we've matched your seed beads accordingly. So they will all tie in and look beautiful together. So have a little look on the website, which colour you think you like the look of. If you want to see the beads close up, click on this lovely little one and you'll see all of them in their glory. Now they range in price today. They should have been at least £8, £8.15, a lot of them. Some of them should have been £8.35, but Simon has done us a great deal on this. So your bronze diamond is only £7.35. The ivory gold, which I think is really, really festive, is only £6.90. Your monochrome is £7.55. Your plum is £7.20. The silver cloud is £7.10. And your space blue is also £7, and your teal blue is £7.35. So there's a slight variance in prices there, depending on which colour choice you're in, but I'm sure you will agree it's an absolute bargain for the amount of beauties that you're getting in there today. So let me say hello to you all and see who I've missed. Welcome you all in. So good morning to Charlotte. She says the weather's cleared up. Does that mean it's finally stopped raining in Hawaii, Charlotte? Good morning to Angela. She says, good morning, Natalie. Let me show you her comment. She says it's quite bright here too in Northern Scotland. Good morning to Marcia. Good morning to Carol. She says, good morning to Natalie and our beading family. It's very cold but dry here in Brixham. Good morning to Sheila. Lovely blue skies where Camille is. Good morning to Esther. Lucy has kindly shared the tutorial for you today, so you can click on that and have a little watch of me, and you can see all the goodies as well. Good morning to Joanne. She says it's cold but sunny in Coventry. Good morning to Miss Kitti. How are you doing? Good morning to Elaine. Good morning to Ruth. Good morning to Jackie. Lucy says, I remember doing this project very early in my beading journey. It was a mess, so I might have another go. I'm going to show you today how to make sure your beads sit really close to each other, and also how to add that extra tile. Put my words back in. That extra tiger tail should you want to make it longer. Good morning to Mina. Good morning to Anne. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to Judith. And good morning to Leslie. So I think we've got a lot of you in. So I will take you down on the mat and you can see these gorgeous colours. So let me bring my screen up. So you can see here, I've done the same design using the same technique in all of my gorgeous different colours. But you can make them longer, shorter. You can use this design for bracelets. You can bead all the way up if you prefer and have that big, full, lovely look. I like them on a chain. I like sometimes to add them onto my lobster clasps. I like to make them sometimes, there's a few that I've done where I've not added a clasp and I've just used a long chain, so they become over the head jewellery, which is nice to wear. But they give this lovely kind of bobbly look. So you can see all the different colours and look at the sparkle on the Druzy. They've got some gorgeous colours in there, and it's just going to add to this texture. Having that mix of crystals, variety of the pearls, just gives it that extra. Look at the shimmer on there. Lucy says, I'd like to mix up the plum and the gold colours. They look lovely. That would be a really nice idea. You would probably like the purpley ones, Lucy, knowing your like of pinks. But you could mix them in with the other colours. That'd be gorgeous. Angela says she's made it before too and she's loved it. I made it many moons ago when Kitti did the tutorial, and I found it a nice easy project. It was when I still not too confident, but when I wasn't very confident with my stitch beading, and I thought I prefer to use materials that I'm comfortable with, and tiger tail for me is something that is my go-to. If I'm not making with wire, I like to make with tiger tail, and it gives a really effective look, but it's really straightforward to do. So if you haven't given it a go, I recommend it. And if you do, and you have done it before, I think, These beads look gorgeous together. It's going to give it that extra little bit of dimension, I think, having those Druzy in there. And also, if you've got lots of tiger tail or lots of, maybe even lots of beads left over from various projects, it's nice to mix them up. Look at the colours in that. Now, we've said this is a teal colour. I think I'd have called this one peacock because it's so pretty. But this one, I think, is what I'm going to be demoing with today because it's icy and it's a little bit festive and a little bit sparkly. Kitti says, and look at you now. Yeah, well, you know, if you'd have been watching, was it not last tutorial? Last tutorial, I was definitely in my comfort zone because I was doing wire and I was making the trees. But if you'd have watched the end of the previous tutorial, Kitti, I don't know whether I should be admitting this, but I had a little issue with a crimp bead and it all went horribly wrong towards the end. Right, let me show you the goodies that you will be getting in your colours. So in terms of tools, all I'm going to be using, I think, is my cutters. I'm going to be using these. These are my main tools today. Sorry, Joe, I won't be using my nails. I'll be using my fingers. You'll probably need, round nose can be quite handy if you just need to get into a little space in the tiger tail, if you need to pull your beads closer together. And I'm going to be using my flat nose or even my needle nose just to get into pop my findings on at the end. Charlotte says they're also beautiful, beautiful colours. Good morning, Sue. She says, good morning, Natalie and everyone. Still feeling fragile after my COVID booster on Tuesday. So just resting on the sofa and watching today's demo. I hope you're feeling okay. So get your feet up, get a nice warm drink. Watch me, chill out, and then maybe, I don't know, do a little bit of online shopping. If you're doing online shopping, check out Totally Beads. There's always a bargain on there for you. Kitti, I'd love to say it was the Crimp Beads' fault. It wasn't. I opened it up after I'd finished to check what went on, and one was crimped and one wasn't. It was complete user error. The products from Totally Beads, Miss Kitti, are fantastic. It is user error. So I'm not blaming my tools, I'm blaming myself. So you're going to get a mix of your crystals and your pearls. Your pearls are going to be in two gorgeous different colours, and you're getting these glass pearl Druzys. Look at the sparkle on them. You know I love my gemstones. These are just like a gemstone Druzy. They're just coated in this fine, soft, powdery, glittery colour. They're just gorgeous. So this is what I'm using, and I'm also using my size 11 Toho seed beads as well. These are going to be crucial to your make today. Lucy says, it's nice to see the professionals making mistakes, though. It proves to us all that you're all real. I am very real, Lucy. I wish I was a little bit more professional at times, but, you know, you're learning with me. You're seeing how I work and how sometimes things don't work. Okay, I'm going to be using a lot of tiger tail today. I find it personally when I'm making this, I keep it on my reel. And I will pull probably about a metre, so that's my arm up in the air to the table, and maybe an extra little bit. You don't want to be working with loads and loads because, you know, you can get yourself in a bit of a tangle, you can put bends in it, it can get a little bit fiddly. But I always find that if I work off my reel doing this, if I don't have enough length, I can then have this as the middle point, reel the rest of it off and give it another snip. So this is how I like to work, but I will show you how to attach extra bits of tiger tail on, so you can do it in smaller sections. If you see on these little samples where I've been practicing, you wouldn't see here, I don't think, where that tiger tail has been joined. But if I open it up a little bit, you'll see there's a few crimp beads which are crimped this time, and that's what's just joining that extra bit in. There you go, that one's probably a little bit easier to see. You see them hiding in there? So you can add that extra tiger tail on. Now, the design in these mean they have got a little bit of stretch in them. So if you're making a bracelet, you might want to make it a little bit smaller than its intended length, because when it's on, you can stretch it out a little bit. Joanne says, I love using those beads. They are perfect for jewellery for goths. Oh, maybe I'm a little bit gothic then, because I love them. I think they're very shiny and very pretty. I think I'm a magpie more than anything, Joanne. Lucy says, it's hard to choose the colours. I like the colour you're working with as well. Today, this is my favourite. If you'd have asked me yesterday, I'd have probably gone for the purples, which is when I was making my little samples. I've been using these ones. The bronze colour is gorgeous. Let me pull this one out again. This is like chocolate. It's so lovely. So it's entirely up to you. You might feel that you've already got findings and you've already got chain that you want to use up. So in that case, maybe pick a colour that you think is going to look nice with your findings. Today, I'm probably going to be using the silver findings with these, whereas I think I probably use the rhodium colour with the space blue. So it's entirely up to you. Right, I'm going to get going because I'm a bit concerned about the battery on my phone at the moment, which is my downward facing camera. When I started, it was like 96% and now I've got 74. So hopefully it will see us through to the end and I'll show you what you're doing. Right, so I'm pulling a length of my tiger tail and I'm keeping it on my reel for now. And I'm going to open up my beautiful beads. Now, what's good about this is there's no pattern to it. I'm not going to be picking up in a particular order. Now, I know a lot of you like the order and you don't like the chaos, but you will find as you start to put them on, they're going to kind of give it this kind of bubbly, bobbly look. So, regardless of which one you pick up, they're going to sit close together in a little cluster. So I'm just going to take some of my gorgeous selection of beads and crystals and I'm going to give them a little mix. If you've got one of those like rulers or something with a little groove in, you might find putting them inside of that will, excuse me, let me have a sip of water, will mix them up for you and will cause you to pick them up more randomly. Let me move these out the way because we're going to need a little bit of focus. So I'm going to take the end of my tiger tail. I'm going to pick up any of my beads or crystals. And then I'm going to have to pour some of these out as well. Then I'm going to pick up one of my seed beads. And I'm going to bring this down towards what may possibly be the middle. If you know what length you need to use, then you can work from the end if you wish. I'm calling this the middle, although it's the end, because if I need to use more, I can just extend onto it. So I've got my bead and I've got my seed bead, and I'm going to come back up with my tiger tail, but I'm going to miss the seed bead and just go back through the crystal. And I'm going to pull it tight. It's easier to work with shorter lengths because you're not pulling so much through. So I've just pulled that tight. And then I'm going to add on my next one. So I'm going to pick up another one at random. Good morning, Pamela. Hope you're okay. Gorgeous, gorgeous blue colour. And then I'm going to add on my seed bead and I'm going to bring this down so they are sitting close together. And that is the tip that you need. I've probably pulled off far too much tiger tail. They're all tangled up. But that's the technique that you need with this. You need them to be fitting close together. Don't worry if it doesn't and it sits a little bit further out. I'm sure as I'm making that will happen and I'll show you how to remedy that. So I'm missing off the seed bead and I'm just going to trim the end of this ever so slightly because there's a tiny little kink in it and I like it nice and flat. So I'm going to go back up through that bead. And I'm going to make sure my beads are sitting together. So I tend to hold them with my fingers and my thumb. Look, I'm twisting myself already in this, aren't I? And I'm going to pull it until that joins together and they are fairly close. If I wanted that bit closer, I'm just going to pull back on my seed bead. Are you still there? Yeah, you are. And then I'm going to pull that tighter. Good morning, Pauline. She says, good morning, Natalie. A bit late, but I arrived now. I hope everything is fine. Everything's absolutely wonderful. If you are just joining us, we're doing popcorn style beaded jewellery. So you can make necklaces, you can make bracelets, and we're using today the lovely Druzy type beads just to give it, I mean, this reminds me of frost. It's so lovely. So again, back through the bead, missing the seed bead, and I'm just going to move that bit out of the way and hold them close together. Pull that back through. Note to self, when demoing, use less tiger tail. And I'm just going to make sure they're nice and close and pull that tight. So this is how they're going to start joining together. Sue says, good morning, sorry a bit late. It's okay, I'm not taking attendance. If you're a little bit late, you'll easily catch up. And if you need to catch up later, you can just watch the video back. Camille says, haha, yes, we're here, just watching you. I must have knocked my my mouse, probably with my awfully long tiger tail, so my screen went off. So you could see me, but I couldn't see you. But that's fine, as long as you're still here. The only place you're allowed to disappear off to is to go and make yourself a cuppa or go over to the website and look at the gorgeousness. So I'm pulling that nice and close and picking the next one up. So I know a lot of you struggle to do random, but if I was even trying to pick these up in an order, they're not going to sit in an orderly row. They're going to start to cluster together. I'm tempted to cut my tiger tail just so I can show you how to attach another one. But we'll keep going. So I'm looking at where that last one was and bringing them close together, holding with my thumb and my fingers to keep it in place. I'm missing the seed bead and I'm coming back through that tiger tail path, I suppose. Let's get you in there. Give it a little wiggle. There you go. And then I'm holding them together because I want them to sit tight. I don't want little gaps in there. And pull it back through. So how are you all doing today? I was feeling rather smug, feeling like I was finally getting on top of my Christmas shopping, and yesterday and the day before and even this morning I've had this kind of realization of, oh, I haven't got them anything, I've forgotten about them, oh, I've forgotten about this person. So yeah, not so smug at all now. Now I'm still thinking of all the things I need to get. It's never ending. Okay, so back on with the next bead and the seed bead. Bring that back down to my little cluster. Move my seed bead out the way. Pop that tiger tail back through the bead I've just attached. I'm pulling it. I've made it all curly. Untwist that little bit and pull it through. Lorna says, good morning, Natalie and everyone. Lucy says, how is it Friday again already? This week's gone super fast. You are telling me there's just not enough hours in the day, and there's not enough days in the week, and there's not enough weeks in the month, and there's not enough months in the year. I'm still shocked we're in December. Sue says, I'm beginning to panic about Christmas, to be honest. It just seems to be coming so fast. I know. But you know what? What will be, will be. You've got to try and enjoy life and be in the moment, haven't you? She says, stressing about everything. Oh, I've not done this. Oh, I've not done that. I think I started to rest on my laurels a little bit once I'd got the Christmas tree up. I've not done any of the other decorations, and I haven't done any Christmas cards. Oh, I'm getting myself in a right twist and a tangle. I am going to cut this off, and I'm going to show you how to attach a smaller piece. Shall we do that now? Maybe I will show you how to bring them closer together first. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Okie doke. So, if I wanted to bring my beads up closer together, so say for example, let's move these out the way, let's get a little bit of focus. Say for example, when I was bringing one of my beads back through, I left, let's do for once a deliberate mistake rather than an accidental one. Say for example, I left quite a little gap between them, and I wanted to move that in closer together. All I would do is I would hold on to my seed bead, I would push them down again closer, and I would give it a tighter pull, and that will keep them sitting tighter up together. If I struggled to get my fingers to hold that little seed bead, so let's do another one. What I would do is get that a little bit closer, but not close enough. So if I was struggling to hold on to that, I would take my round nose pliers and I would try and give it a little pull just inside of that tiger tail to pull it out a little bit further, push it back down close to the last bead and give it another tighten. Where have you gone? So I want them closer than that, so I'm going to push it back down and re-pull, and then they should sit closer together. Now if I want to add an extra length of tiger tail, which you may possibly do, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some seed beads, crimp beads rather, and I'm going to take 2 crimp beads, because what did we learn? One is sometimes not strong enough and you often need 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the crimp beads onto this original length of tiger tail if I feel this isn't going to be long enough. And then I'm going to add my bead and my seed beads as usual, and then bring this new piece in and attach that through, following that little tiger tail trail, so to speak, and attach through the same seed beads just to secure. So I'm going to pop my crimp beads on like so. So I've got 2 and they're going to sit up nice and close. I'm going to pick one of my beads and my seed bead as usual and bring that back through. So missing the seed bead, coming back through the crystal. And then I'm going to take a new length of tiger tail. So I'll just sheet, and I'll take the bit I cut off before. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down. So this is the bead I've just attached with the crimp beads underneath it. I'm going to bring it up. Let's see if this works. It's hard to do underneath the camera to show you, but I'm bringing that up through that last bead. And then going to take it down the seed bead. Down the seed bead and back through the crystal or whichever bead I've just added. And look at that, they went straight through. Can you see this new piece of tiger tail has gone through both of those crimp beads as well? So then I can just pull that through. You might need your tools just to get your fingers in there. Yeah. Pull, 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 pull. And then I'm going to flatten down my crimp beads. So I'm crimping over the tiger tail and the new piece of tiger tail. And then I can just cut off the old shorter length. So I'm cutting off my old piece of tiger tail, and now I've got my new piece to work with. Give that a little trim. So if you need to add extra on, that's all you do. You won't be able to see those crimp beads in there much when you add your next one on. Good morning, Francis. Pauline says, looks a straightforward kit. May try this one. Well, at least add it to my list. This is probably one of the earlier projects that I did. So it is a nice, easy one, Pauline. All you're doing, adding your bead on, adding your seed bead, missing the seed bead and going back through the bead. Holding them, pinching them close together, pulling that through. And then that's creating these lovely little clusters. So you will probably need, it depends how much you're going to do. For a bracelet, I don't know, maybe 1.5 meters of tiger tail. For a necklace, if you want your full necklace that goes all the way round, you may need 4 meters. But as I've just shown you there, I'm gonna pick a Druzy because I've not used one of those for a little while. You don't have to be working with one gigantically long length of tiger tail. All you need to do is just attach them a new piece with your crimp beads. And you can do it in little sections. I do think it looks lovely as a focal point, and therefore I do like to add it onto a chain. Carol says, I think it might be wise to do this through the crystal and not the pearl, as the hole is much smaller with a pearl. That's a good point, that, Carol. The Druzys have got nice, these are glass too, but the Druzy coated ones have got quite a nice large hole. So yeah, maybe attach that extra piece through one of those or through your crystals. Can you give me a little bit of focus? There you go. Whereas sometimes you can pick up a pearl. This is a good example. And the coating might slightly cover it a little bit. So you'll find if you compare them against each other, the hole is a little bit smaller in the pearl. So Carol, I think that is a very good top tip. Good morning, Natalie. How are you doing? She says, morning, Natalie, from Nat in Colchester. I'm liking the look of the Druzy beads, says Sheila. They are so lovely. As I say, kind of these ones particularly give it a little frosted look, and that extra little bit of sparkle coming up to winter if you're looking for a little party piece. And I suppose if you do a short section, I'll show you one I've done, you could always, if you're just adding it onto a chain with culottes, you might find that actually you want to take it off the chain at one point and turn it into a bracelet. So you could have a multi-use item. So again, I'm holding that down close to the last bead and bringing that through. So far, they're all fairly close together. There's no major gaps in there. But if there is, just hold on to that seed bead and give it a little pull through. I think it's good to kind of check them each time as you go along. I have done one and then noticed a little space as it's moved around, and then I've had to go back through the last few. So it's much easier to do it as you go. So I'm going back through the hole. Just let me move that little bit of coating off. Pop your seed bead on. And we're going to bring it back through. Give it a little wiggle just to remove anything that may be blocking that. You don't want to go back through, do you, Tiger Tail? Do you know what? I'll pick another one up. You're going to get loads on your strands as well. So, you've got your 2 different colour pearls, you've got your crystals, and you've got your Druzys. So you're going to have more than enough to make a full necklace up, should you want it. So he says, good morning all and Merry Christmas jumper day. Sorry I'm late. I was snuggled up in bed finishing my book. Oh, what you reading? Okay, so here I've made that little gap. Can you see? I don't want that to have a gap. I want that to be closer together. So I'm just pulling my seed bead back up, holding that closer with my fingers and tightening it up, and it will sit much closer. I've got a Christmas jumper on today. It's got some sparkly reindeers on it. I've also started to root out my Christmas socks from the drawer. So I'm getting in the festive mood. I'll feel a lot better when I've done my shopping and I feel like I've got everybody. I always buy a few little extra things in just in case. Something a little bit generic, maybe some chocolates or a few extra bottles of wine or something. I also have to do a post office run because there's certain gifts for certain people that need to be there pretty quick. So those of you in the warehouse, keep your eyes open. There's something on its way when I get round to go in the post office. Lucy says, Pauline, what colour are you going to go for? And Carol's wearing hers too. What's your Christmas jumper like, Carol? Maybe we should share our Christmas jumpers on the handmade page too. So I'm continuing to add on any bead at random. I'm going to thread on my little seed beads. These are a gorgeous colour too. These have got like a little frosted blue look on them. Refocus. There you are. And then taking that tiger tail back through, missing the seed bead. And by missing that seed bead, that's just acting as my little stopper. I'm pulling those beads close together and adding on the next one. Oh, Carol says it's got penguins in sparkly hats. That sounds very sweet. So I've gone for quite a subtle Christmas jumper today with just some sparkly deers. I've got some that go all out. I couldn't be any more festive if they tried. Though I don't have any flashing ones. Sometimes you can get them that they light up and they flash and things, don't they? So I'm going to add another one on, and then I'm going to start on the other end because I'm a little bit wary of time. How long does this usually take me? I mean, for a little section, it might take you, I don't know, half an hour. If I was to do a full one, it'd take me a little bit longer. So that's why I quite like to work off the reel, because then if I think, okay, that's getting a bit short, I can always add the extra, or I could just pull another length from my reel on the other side. And then this will make this part the center, so to speak. It's a really nice design because you don't have to, as I say, worry about pattern. You're picking it up at random. So you're going to have this lovely continuous look. So I'm just seeing which bead was the first one I attached. Sometimes they can wiggle round each other. So I'm just moving my tiger tail back towards that last one so there'll be no gaps and spaces in it. Missing my seed bead and back through this gorgeous Druzy bead. Hold it close together. Where have you gone? There you are, with that one. So just hold it down with my thumb and my finger. So when I give that a pull, there'll be no gaps between them. They'll be sitting nice and close together. Julia says, absolutely beautiful, and I can listen to you for ages. Is that to me? Oh, Julia, that's lovely to hear. I know I've got a bit of an accent, but I think that makes us all unique, doesn't it? I'm also quite high-pitched, and if I'm using gemstones, I tend to talk very fast. I get very excited. So I haven't got the most soothing voice, I appreciate that. And I often think I need to tone it down a little bit when you've got these lovely viewers watching from all over the world, and it might be, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning where they're watching from. I think there'll be people in their household thinking, what is that noise? Who's strangling that cat? So adding on the next one, dropping my seed bead down. Though I tend to move it a little bit out the way while I just bring that tiger tail back through. Pull it nice and tight. So it's taking shape. I'm getting a nice little bit of length on this already. But it doesn't sit in a linear row. So you're not getting all of that length. You're getting that lovely, well, it's called popcorn, isn't it? Because it does have that popcorn look. It's a bit bobbly. I just think it's perfect for, well, it's perfect all year round, depending on what beads and things you're using. But I think these look really festive, especially this colour. Lucy says you do have a calming voice, I think. Why, thank you very much. See, I don't think I've got a really strong Liverpudlian accent, but obviously if you're watching me from somewhere outside of Liverpool, you'll probably feel very different and think I do. I also love listening to Kitty's accent. I like the way she pronounces some words. I'm getting a bit tangled up there, aren't I? I need to use, was it Diane's tip of curling out my tiger tail in the opposite direction it's bending in? Okay, so back through. And I think doing a technique like this will mean that you are putting into practice your skills of random, because you don't have to think, what am I picking up? So I've just picked a crystal up there, and the last one I picked up was a crystal. It's a good way to use up any beads you may have as well. But if you are using beads that you have that are already existing, you will be missing out on these gorgeous ones in the kit today, because they just look so lovely together. Just untwist that and pull it right down. And I'm just checking, are they sitting close? I don't think I could get them sitting any closer together if I tried. Fran says it looks gorgeous. Carol says no, stay as you are. Pauline says I love your accent, Natalie. Thank you very much. Morning, Natalie and everyone. Lovely tutorial as usual. Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate this time of year. You've probably got lots of different things that you should feel you need to be getting on with, but it's really important that you take that time out from, the busy festivities, and if that means just sitting down and watching a tutorial, which might give you a little bit of inspiration for when you do have that downtime, or just sitting and making something, I don't know, for an hour or so in the afternoon or in the evening, just to kind of give you that little bit of you time. And obviously, you can be making gifts for people, so you don't have to feel that guilty. I've got quite a lot of teacher gifts that I need to make or get, and I'm thinking they get the same thing all the time, just making sure that these beads are sitting closer than they are. So I'm holding onto that seed bead, pulling that back down, giving that a tighten. So I think I'm actually going to make some teacher gifts. I think I'll possibly make some bookmarks. I don't know. I'm sure they get 1,000,001 biscuits and 1,000,001 cups with greatest teacher or whatever on. And let's face it, they've had a very difficult couple of years, so they do deserve to be recognised. So what are we all making of the new rules? I don't think I should talk about it, should I? This is a safe space. I mean, working from home for me won't change anything, because I invite you all in, socially distanced, of course, to my live. So that won't make much of a difference for me. I'm going to be back with you on Friday. I might bring the cheese and crackers. So if you want to come to a virtual party, you are welcome to join me on Friday for the live. Pulling them down closer together. Ruth says, the only time Liverpool accent is a problem is if you are my roommate at uni screaming at the footy on the box. Yours is lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, Liverpudlians are often very passionate about football. Not all of us, but we've got two great teams. We've got Liverpool and Everton. So Derby Day is often quite an eventful match. My dad's a Blue, which is Evertonian. I was a Liverpudlian, as in I was a Liverpool fan. So we just wouldn't watch it together. We'd have separate rooms in the house that we'd watch it. I'll be honest, I don't really watch it too much now. I'd rather be sitting and making. So I let my husband watch it if he wants to, and I'll just sit and make. I'm saying a lot of people, I think, possibly like me, found Totally Beads in lockdown, found herself a craft or a hobby to keep us occupied. And for me, making is my therapy. It is something that calms me down. It soothes me. It makes me just unwind and forget about everything that's going on, and I just get lost in my beads or lost in my gemstones or my wire. And it keeps my hands busy too. I often feel like I always call it like itchy fingers. So they're like, I get really restless if I'm not making something. So even if I'm watching the telly, I need to have like my beading mat on my knee, and I'll be making up samples, or I'll be coming up with a new design or something. I honestly think I'd just have been lost. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't found jewellery making. I've done lots of other crafts before, but again, without sounding too soppy, I think it's this community that gave me the love of this particular craft. I love sharing ideas and makes with each other on the handmade group. It's got a lovely sense of community, lovely friendships that have been made. So take solace in your beads this year and next year. I don't know what I've missed. Lucy says, I didn't even realise your accent is Liverpool. Oh, hey, Lucy, what do you like? Camille says, even I knew it was a Liverpool accent. Yeah, Pauline, you're with me, aren't you, sweetheart? She says, I agree. You can get very involved and just forget the troubles of the world outside. There's very little stress when you're using gorgeous little sparkles. A lot of people have been asking me, how's this going for me as a job? I used to work in education, worked in education for probably about 15 years, and I was at my last place of work for 8 years. So although I'm still teaching, aren't I, in a way, because I'm teaching you how to make these gorgeous things. Just say how much I love it. I mean, I miss working with young people. There's nothing quite like a job that's rewarding. But I don't think you can work in education or in care or in with young people without really caring for the people that you're working with and becoming very invested in their lives. And you take that home with you. I take the beads home with me. But right now, if I've got any stresses or woes in regards to my job, it's very different. It might be, I need to make sure that I've made all these on time. Or, like the other day when I was like, a crimp bead didn't quite fit on. It's not the end of the world. Jewellery making is very forgiving. You can just go back, redo it, learn from your mistakes. So yeah, I'm very blessed. My life has changed drastically this year, and I love it. So thank you for having me. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for Totally Beads for welcoming me in and making me part of the team. I love you. Celia says, I'm glad to be working from home so I can watch these. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? I mean, obviously, you're still on your emails. Just move your mouse, Celia, or whatever you're working on, making sure that you're still looking active. I mean, it depends on the job that you have. You might be able to do this while doing whatever else it is that you do. And that's what's lovely. There's so many people from different walks of life doing various different things and have various different backgrounds and are from different parts of the world. But we all come together with a love of the sparkles. Dorothy, she says, oops, I forgot to say good morning. I'm wrapping and hoping my BeadClub beads in 12 days will arrive. Post has been, but maybe the van will bring them, fingers crossed. We'll forgive you, Dorothy. You've said good morning now, it's fine. My postman came at 57 minutes to 10, so I was like, oh, brilliant, I'm not going to have to get up in the middle of the live. I'm sure you'd forgive me if I did, though, because I know you know how it is. My post's been a little unusual, really, this week, so I'd ordered lots of things from the same place on the same day, and some arrived on, what day are we on? Friday. So some arrived on Wednesday. One arrived on Wednesday. Another 2 arrived yesterday. And I'm guessing the rest are probably going to come on Monday. So, they'll get here when they get here. And then I've got no excuse. Then I've got to start wrapping, haven't I? I used to knit scarves or fingerless mitts for my kids' teachers. Marcia, that's a good idea. Oh, they'd end up with like a ball of tattered wool if I tried to do that, though. That's not my strong point. But isn't that lovely, though, if you've got a skill or a talent in making something, as I say, that makes sure that it's not something that people are going to already have or will have, be able to get from the shop. It gives something a little bit more unique. Lucy's got her 12 days of toes and fingers crossed for you, Dorothy. No, she doesn't. She's got her fingers and toes crossed for you that your 12 days arrives. Sorry, Lucy, I don't think you've got 12 fingers and 12 toes, do you? It would come in handy. Sarah Millsock's always going on about her extra fingers, isn't she, for when making? Susan says, jewellery making definitely saved me during the lockdown as my usual hobbies were cancelled and I really needed something to focus on. Well, this is it. We were able to be together and make, but not be together. We were all doing it virtually online, weren't we? Right. I'm going to do a few more of these and I'm going to start attaching these to a chain or a bracelet. I think it's going to be too short for me to do a bracelet unless I added, I could add a little extender chain to it. Yeah, go on then, let's make a bracelet. So all I've been doing, apart from chatting, is I'm adding on a bead at random. I'm adding on my seed bead. I'm coming back with my tiger tail in the same direction, but missing out the seed bead. Coming back through the main bead, holding them close together, pulling it tight, and repeat. I don't know what I've missed. Considering I've been chatting, I've got a lot of comments to scroll up. Sorry, need to go now. Catching the 11 o'clock bus to do Christmas shopping. Watch the rest later. Carol, enjoy your Christmas shopping. Wrap up warm. I hope you're very productive. And I'm sorry for chit-chatting and running over a little bit longer than planned. You'd think I had nothing to do today, wouldn't you? There's nothing else I'd want to do than be here with you. Joe says, hi, Natalie. Sorry I've missed most of this. We'll watch back later. That's okay, Joe. You'll be proud of me today. I've not been using my nails. I've been bearing in mind that my nails are jewels, not tools. So I've been using my fingers. You can watch me back. And just don't watch the Tree of Life one if you haven't already, because you'll shout at me there. Because you know what I'm like with wire. Right, I'm going to go back through that hole in the pearl. Give it a little wiggle to make sure it goes through. Holding those close down together. Pulling it tight. If it's a bit longer than you want it to be, hold it again at the seed bead, or if you need to with your round nose pliers, and just give it an extra pull. I think you're all still talking about 12 days, aren't you? You're not going to know what to talk about in the new year once that's been. Oh, Sue, you do all sorts, don't you? She says, I think I've managed to keep doing all my crafts going through lockdown. I've done a lot of knitting and crochet, and now I have 2 grandbabies. How lovely, thanks to eBay and our wonderful postie. In fact, I actually renewed my love of, it's cut off, but I'm assuming that's beading. Thanks, Joe. So next week, the lovely Joe will be with you on Monday. Is this right, Joe? And you're going to be doing a gorgeous Christmas make. So I'm looking forward to watching that. And I'll be checking that you do what you tell me and not using your nails as tools. And then I will be back with you on Friday, which is the 17th. And I think that will be our last live on Totally Beads before Christmas. But don't worry, because the 12 days of Christmas will be with us, upon us shortly, and you'll have us every single day. It will be pre-recorded, but you know, we'll be there still in the chat and probably still making along. Right, okay. Given the fact it's gone 11, I'm going to make this into a bracelet. So I'm going to take my 2 ends. I'm going to move my bits and bobs out the way. I'm going to do 2 crimp beads on each end, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to crimp them down properly, securely, and very tight. My lesson that I've learned is always use 2 and always crimp them. They're not called crimp beads for nothing. I'm then going to add a clasp onto each end as well. And I'll be needing jump rings, and I might even use a little bit of chain to give me that little bit of extra length. And then I can make it into an extender chain. So I'm popping on my culotte, and then I'm popping on my seed beads onto that end. I'm taking my flat nose pliers or needle nose pliers, and I am gently but firmly crushing those crimp beads so they are flat and secure. I'm going to trim off the extra bit of tiger tail, and I'm going to close over my culotte. I always do it with my fingers first, and then just give it that extra little close over with my pliers, making sure those little holes are linked up together so I can get my jump ring through them. And the same on the opposite side. Oh, Lucy says I've been working on my beach huts. The beach huts this week. Got 1 more and a bit to go. Oh, well, you'll be definitely done by next summer, Lucy. I want, maybe next year we could do, Kitti could design us some, I don't know, like a little Santa's grotto. That would be cute. Little candy canes. If you're listening, Kitti, I'm just adding more projects to your already very busy workload. Okay, so I've popped on my crimp beads I am getting right in there and I am flattening both of those down and then trimming off the rest of my tiger tail, closing my culotte over, making sure it's lined up and it's nicely closed. And then I'm going to add on my jump rings. Ooh, Sue says, I really need to get going with the Christmas coloured Russian spirals I'm going to do for our girls and goddaughters, plus one for me, of course. Of course. Don't forget yourself, Sue. You know, Christmas is the time for giving, but it's also nice to make yourself a treat as well. Right, so I'm opening up my jump ring and I am dropping it and picking it back up. And then I'm popping that through the loops on the culotte, closing that over, going slightly past the point. So when it comes back together, it will be perfectly closed. And the same on the other side. Now, if you want to make this into a necklace, you can add, you could continue this design all the way around. So you're just adding your clasp onto the end, and you've got that lovely continuous popcorn style running around the full length of your necklace. Or you can add on a chain and your clasps. So let me pick one up. You've got it like this. So you can use that as your little focal point. I'm going to make this into a bracelet. So I'm going to take myself a bit of chain. Not going to need too much. Let's see. So I'm going to cut. I'll cut extra and then I can use it as an extender chain if, you know, I was giving it to somebody else. So I'm opening up my chain, which is available to buy on the same tutorial link for today. Let's open that up a little bit more. And I'm going to take my jump ring that I've just attached and I'm going to open up my jump ring, thread on my little bit of chain, close that jump ring back up, and then on this side I'm going to add my lobster clasp. So I'm going to open up this side. See, I've closed that jump ring so well, I can barely see the opening. I'm going to thread that on and close it back up. And then let's see if I can attach it. So the good thing about having an extender chain is you can hold it in your hand while you thread that on. There you go, my lovely little bracelet. So let me bring myself back up. How dark has it gone on my face? Why am I sitting in the dark? Hello, are you still there? Right, I'll pop you back down on the mat. This is my bracelet. Let me have a little look if I've missed anything. Natalie, Christmas pictures like the huts would be great. Poinsettias, ivy, holly, Father Christmas, snowmen, penguins, etc. Diane, get onto those designs. Make them up for us. They'd be lovely. It's probably a bit too late for this year, but you know, never too early to start for next year. So stop it. I don't know. How is it just 2 weeks till Christmas Eve now? I don't know. Honestly, the only reason I know what date it is because every time Frank opens his advent calendar, I say to him, what number are we on now? And he goes, number 10. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then it'll say how many weeks or days left till Christmas. Yeah, everybody's in agreement with each other. There's not enough hours in the day. Do you know what? Everybody just take a minute to relax, to breathe, to just let it be what it is. You know, if this last year or two has taught us anything, it's to make the most of the time we've got here with each other. Don't sweat the little things. You know, what will be will be. Camille says, I always add an extra jump ring where the lobster clasp is to give it more wiggle room. Yeah, you could do. This has got a little stretch in it anyway, so I haven't done it on this one. You could also add a little bead and a little charm onto that as well, if you like. So when it's dangling, if you want, you don't have to do it with an extender chain. I always like an extender chain. But to be honest, it's very rarely I make bracelets that fit. They're always a little bit big for me. So this fits perfectly. Lucy says it's really lovely. Joanne says it looks great, Natalie. Angela says, sorry, but I need to go. That's okay. I'm just wrapping up now, Angela. And Lucy agrees. We always put too much pressure on ourselves. Right, I'm now sitting in a whole lot of shadow and the dark. So if you can see me, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me. Why am I in the dark? They say it's either blinding bright light or shadow. So, yeah, thank you for joining me. I will be back with you on Friday. Don't forget to tune in on Monday and watch our fabulous Jo do her thing. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Keep calm, keep happy, and season's greetings to you all. Okay, take care. Love and light. Lots of light. Bye.